When we went to the Overlander show and saw these in person, it was just like, yeah, big boys' toys. Knowing you're off grid, especially when you're watching the news and like watching all your heating bills going up and all this, like, and then I'm living in this, and it's like, well, I'm paying none of that. Roxy loves it. She's, as you see, she's chilled out. Not the best guard dog in the world.
Alright guys, welcome back to another Liberation video. Today we're in Lincolnshire meeting up with Paul.
He lives in an epic Overlander truck, so make sure you stick around for the tour. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, give it a like and let us know in the comments what you think.
My name's Paul, and this is Millie, and this is Roxy, and we live in a big Overlander. Before I sort of lived in this, I got divorced, and I already had a camper van, so my first sort of thing was, we'll go and live in that. So that's what I did until we sold my house, and we split the house 50-50, which gave me enough to buy a narrowboat. So I had a narrowboat and a camper to, you know, that can travel around and do best of both worlds. And then the kids were loving it. Absolutely loving being on a narrowboat, going up and down, but it was very slow pace of life. They preferred going out in the camper, so we'd just travel in the camper all the time. So we just started looking at campers, something fancy, and we found these. When we went to the Overlander show and saw these in person, it was just like, yeah, big boys' toys. I started going on the internet and looking, you know, how much they cost to build and answering questions, and a company reached out to me in the end after a lot of shopping around LGF commercials, gave me some rough quotes for how much it would cost to build one. This was pre-COVID, and it was like, that's not bad. That's doable. That, you know, sort of about the 50,000 total mark, because I was thinking of selling the boat, and I thought, we'll have a go. So that's how it basically started. So I sold the boat, and we started building this. This is a DAF T44. So this is an ex-military DAF base. So the box is totally custom built. The whole chassis and everything is ex-military, straight from the army. I bought it from an army charity in Norfolk. It was already registered as 7.5 ton. And we just basically stripped it and sent it to LGF commercials. So they built everything, the roof racks. We had to build it super lightweight. So this is a composite body. So it's plastic. It's plastic fridge lorry body. How it's designed with all aluminium roof rack, everything to save weight. Right, so this is the outside of the truck. The bars on the roof, what they're for is for hitting branches. So they lift branches over all your solar to protect all your solar and all your vents and stuff on the roof. Then we've got LPG store, so I'm running refillable gas bottles, and then I have like 2 normal gas bottles. So there's 4 in there. They last me a good 6 months if I'm using them all the time. So I've got Propex heating, gas heating, and I've also got diesel heating as well. The big safari window, which is a must on all big trucks, but these are brilliant, or we call it the burger van. I went for water tanks, so I went for underneath the truck. That's 250 litres of water, which lasts me a good month, that is, if I'm just, you know, you just be careful with it. That's just for hookups, when I need it. This is your air system we've got, so for any dust and stuff, we've got the Wi-Fi, we've got bush bars, again for knocking branches and stuff away. We've got the roof rack fitted. Again, we've done an aluminium one to keep the weight down. There's not really much on there at the moment. We're going to put a big box on there to keep all the recovery gear, so all the straps and, you know, bits and bobs we need. I do work for, you know, the Lincolnshire Community Assistance Team, so we're LCAT, so we're a search and rescue, everything. We do anything, all emergencies from floodings, disasters. You know, we're called upon as a backup help, you know, for council and police. We move vehicles off roads, trees when they're falling down. So that's good, that's just a voluntary thing I do. On the roof, we've got 1,000 watts of solar, and then a maxi fan up the top there, which is great for sucking air in and out. But yeah, this is good for just for sitting up there on the roof. So we often put a inflatable sofa up there if you're at an event, and just your eye up to watch everything. The kids love that. So we've got our own ladder, goes up there, you can just climb straight up. We've got a couple of jerry cans and stuff just for extra fuel. I've upgraded the fuel tank to a 200 litre. We fitted a big 4-metre awning, which is brilliant, comes right out. It comes out at an angle as well. That's just for the toilet, and then that's the garage door, which goes right through. So we've fitted, we've only just fitted the new security system. So I went for this ring system with the cameras. Again, we've got like security lights we put on outside, so I can just flick all them on inside if I ever need to. These are the original army ladders, and these are brilliant because each leg is adjustable to any size you want. So if you're in a bit of a dip or a hole, it will adjust. And then we got the roof, the bike rack. So this is the Fiamma Lift 77. It folds down, so it's on a frame and it literally drops down to about here. So yeah, but a brilliant bit of kit, especially, and it's also, with it being high up, stops some little sticky fingers coming round at night. Yeah, so I live full time in this, but I have a park up in the week where I can park up at my work. So that's sort of 3 days a week I work. I do sort of 12-hour shifts, and then I can just travel. Like, we come to this spot. I sort of like to get off Peak District areas and stuff like that into the hills if I can. But if I'm trying to save fuel, I'll just stay local, find a few little park ups, and just chill out, you know, for sort of 3 or 4 days. It's pretty simple, really. I mean, I'm pretty lucky in the sense I have got a base, unlike some people, where I can go back to. I've got somewhere to empty my toilet, fill up with water, and then I can travel again. So the reason I live this way is I just love the freedom. And a lot of people always say as well in this, it's the community. The sort of the van life, in a way, community. But now we've named, you know, we've got the lorry life tag now. It's just become a big community now of people just escaping the system. Even when I had a house, I was always a bit of a prepper. My garage was full of, I had the rucksacks ready, I had everything, I had gas masks, I had the full works. I've always been a bit of a prepper. I've always wanted a bunker as well, which is on my goal list. I want a woodland and a bunker. Yeah, so being in these sort of nice spots, we do have a culture in the van life community of, you know, leave with no trace. Almost exactly the same as the wild camping side with your tents. So wherever you go, you make sure you don't leave any trace you was already there, and you don't outstay your welcome as well. So I tend to do 2 days maximum, depending on the location, in one place, because, you know, the locals don't start getting the pitchforks out thinking you're going to live there permanently. And we also do litter picking. So if there's an area where we go to and it is a mess, we'll go around with a bin bag afterwards and just tidy it up, just to make sure it's a clean spot. So you don't get blamed for it, because I could be here and there could be litter over there. They will still blame me, you know, because you was there, you know, but it's the locals come and just throw chip papers out. And yeah, it's us who gets the blame. Yeah, so my kids, they love coming out in the truck because they helped build it. It was, you know, they love going on adventures. You know, when we come to little spots like this, they'll go fishing, they go out onto the beach, you know. So it's a bit different to living at home with a mum, and, you know, they get that lifestyle. And then when they come out with me, it's a bit more, well, sometimes it can be fun and sometimes it can be boring, you know, it depends on the weather a lot of the time. So it is a lot cheaper way of life, depending on your vehicle as well, because obviously if you keep breaking down, it's a lot of money to fix them. I couldn't afford, because obviously I got divorced, so I've got to pay, you know, child maintenance to my wife. So that's one decision. I went, I'm going to live in the van straight away, you know, when I first got divorced, because that didn't bother me. I don't have to pay council tax, I've got no electric to pay for, water I could get for free. So everything becomes free, so you become more money. I know from when I did have a house, I only had about £100 in my pocket as like play money every month when I was married. Now, it's like I've got half my wages, because a lot less, as long as I don't have any breakdowns and I don't go travelling every weekend and putting hundreds of pounds of fuel in, I am a lot better off now, so I can afford little treats and stuff. So, I mean, most people will say in van life, it is a lot cheaper to live. Right, so as you come in, we've got, this is like something I designed. It's the mucky wardrobe. So basically all your muddy shoes, when you come in, you chuck them in there, your coats and anything like that, all go in there. That's all hidden. Then we've got, here is my batteries, and all under here, we've got like an excess cupboard here. That's where if I need to get to the batteries, and all under that is just all my electrics. Then comes up into here, we've got the solar controller, we're running the Propex gas and electric, and the same, we've got the other controllers there, that's for the water, so it's the exact same, it's a Propex gas and electric water heater. That's just the drinks cupboard, and then these are just, that's the dogs cupboard, and these are just like the food cupboards. We have to remember to keep shutting them, because when we come here the other day, I forgot to shut them, and it's all over the place. This is also 6 foot by 4 foot bed as well, so it just drops down, the table drops down, and then that's my lad's bed, he sleeps in there. We've got the window as well, which is amazing. As soon as you look out there now, it's totally different when you're inside to when you're looking outside. So I do, well, this is a Viking mess, so I do Viking reenactments. So it's just something else I've got into lately. It's a great bit of fun. It's great if you want to get rid of some anger. You're running around a battlefield hitting people. I'm on the spears at the moment, and there's a sword behind you. But yeah, that's my helmet I use. Yeah, so this is just where everything, I just sit here, live here, watch telly, YouTube, do everything here. And then we've got the kitchen. So we've got the cooker, oven and grill, which is brilliant, absolutely awesome bits of kit. We've got the Max fan, which is brilliant bit of kit. Then we've got the Dometic fridge, which is a must for all van lifers and anyone living. That's the 80 litre. It's got the big freezer compartment in that as well. It's my coffee machine, and never go anywhere without my Berkeley War filter. So then we go into that's the big wardrobe. It's one of the wardrobes, so that's the first one. This is the second one for the clothes. Then we've sort of got the shower room, which doubles up as a junk room, and so everything, that's where I've got the wash machine, and just keep that in there. So literally, if I want a shower, literally that just comes into there, parts there, and I can just jump in and have a shower. That's brilliant. That's the separate toilet room. And then we go into the back room now, which is king size double bed. Obviously got windows, we've got a sky hatch as well, so I can climb out there. And then at the back, there's wardrobes on the other side. So they're like the third set of wardrobes and storage. And then we've also got under the bed, this all just lifts up. So we've got the garage part. So I can go into the garage, and then if I want to, all this just lifts up, and then I can walk in as well. So I can get to anything in there. I've got a lot of box stuff. Roxy loves it. As you see, she's chilled out. I was lucky getting her as a rescue, because some dogs don't even like travelling, but she's just lazy. Super lazy, aren't you? And not the best guard dog in the world. But again, I mean, I got her as when I got divorced, with sort of losing the kids in a way, not being able to put them to bed and stuff. She was like my surrogate kid. So she got all the attention in the end, didn't you? And then the kids love her as well. So it's all fighting who she's going to sleep with. But no, she loves it. Favourite part of this van, it's just, I think it just goes back to the sort of the freedom part. Knowing you're off grid, especially when you're watching the news and like watching all the, like your heating bills going up and all this, like, and then I'm living in this, and it's like, well, I'm paying none of that. I've got free solar, fairly big battery setup. Water's pretty good. I can just pump it out of a river if I need to as an emergency. I've got water filter systems. So that's one aspect, just that off-grid sort of living. And the downside is the one.
Everyone's stumped on this.
Yeah, the downside, I mean, I think the only thing I can think of is the downside is the sort of the stigma still. I'm lucky enough to live in that lifestyle at the moment where it's like cool and hip now, but there still is that stigma, and the same with travellers. I mean, I was brought up with travellers as well. With my family, we used to buy and sell the old bow caravans, we used to do horses, we used to have our own, in this area, our big, caravan business. So, I sort of respect their way as well, and They're very misunderstood. When I had my Transit, my old van, when I used to park at spots like this, people used to walk past and look at you really like a, you know, you're a piece of crap and, you know, you're a traveller or whatever. But now I've got this, it's so weird. People will actually park up and they'll wait for me to come out just to speak to me. They go, what is it? Why is it? And, you know, and talk to you. So I suppose that's the only negative thing is it's finding the park ups, getting abuse from the council and people like that. Especially in the lockdowns, how people got nasty, very nasty. So when you start going into this sort of life, you have to get your main things. So like your license for your DVLA, banks and stuff like that, you have to have a registered address. So you basically use family for just their main ones. And then everything else I get like sent to work, anything from eBay. You can get things like if you're an Amazon sort of customer, you get these lockers now and you can get products sent to them and collect them. The big ones is, like I'm saying, is the bank, DVLA, I think insurance need to be a registered address. So that's where I use my mum for them, and then everything else I'd sort of swap it around. If you're going to go this lifestyle, you do still need a digital imprint on the financial system. So I advise people to get a lot of 0% loans and stuff like that. You know, so if you like my mountain bike, it was only 300 quid, but buy it on a 0% finance for 2 years, stretch it out, and you're paying like 10 quid a month. But your digital imprint's still on there. So if you ever need to borrow money in the future, your credit score's still good. Like I was looking at some woodland the other day and I wanted 30,000 quid. If I was offered it, the bank said, oh yeah, we'll give you it. But I didn't want it, I was just testing it. But because I had a digital imprint and I ain't got a house, I was still in that cloud of, you know, of acceptable to be loaned money if you need it, because you never know what the future holds. So the future for me is, it's all depending at the moment on my crypto status. We're just coming into the bull market, which is going to be next year. So prices are going to go back up. I've been buying it when it's all really low. And hopefully by the end of next year, 2025, there should be enough to retire full time and just travel the world. But I also want to buy a woodland. That's my key thing I need to buy. We're going to set up like an off-grid camp. We want to do it for kids as well. So we're going to have it set up for kids with mental health, because my oldest suffers from ADHD. And bushcraft and all that and camping and his hammocks and stuff has changed his life. He loves it. As soon as he's out in the wilderness and just being a feral in a forest, it's amazing how kids come to life. Once they're cooking on a fire, you know, or just throwing axes at, you know, anything, they just love it. So that's another goal we want. And it's also a spot I can park up on. And then, not permanently, because they're a bit funny about that, but you've got a place you can park up on, have weekends there, travel. But the other thing I want is a bunker as well. I do fancy a bunker. So I do a lot of festivals. I've got a few booked up this year. We do the Overlander show. I'm with some other off-grid type shows. So I help people transition, because a lot of people are leaving a house, don't know how to sell a house and basically go to live in a vehicle. Just with little tips and tricks. So this is another reason I opened up my Facebook group, the Lorry Life Campers UK. So it's all about inspirational truck builds, from, you know, old bread lorries, you know, delivery lorries, horse boxes, even big RV stuff, anything big, and the amount of people living in them, because they want the bigger size now. So van life is one thing, but it's very small. And now people are moving up the next stage and want something bigger to live in, especially if you've got families. Yeah, so if anyone wants to find me, all you've got to do is on social media is type in the Off Grid Nomad. Everything will pop up. So I've got a YouTube channel, the Off Grid Nomad UK. TikTok, I'm on there. I don't really use it much, but there's a few bits and bobs. I need to activate that. Instagram, I'm on that. Again, Off Grid Nomad. Facebook, I'm on the Off Grid Nomad as well on there. So you can find me anywhere on social media. I'm all over. But yeah, happy to help anyone. And that's the whole point of like the Facebook group, the Lorry Life Campers. That's what that's designed for, is to help people transition into this sort of lifestyle, and hints and tips on what others are doing, because I still learn. Every day I'm learning new hints and tips, and that's, you know, we all help and share it. Thanks for watching, and apparently all the links will be all down below, so go and check them out and come and follow me.
Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to another video there, and thanks to Paul for showing us around.
Make sure to check Paul out on all his socials, it'll all be linked down below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe. See you in the next one.